In the meantime, I've been thinking about a variety of foods that are as good and as bad as coffee. I don't think there is any food that is difficult to argue about. The reason is that the opinions of good and bad are as tight as coffee. Because there is nothing in opposition. Most people say that coffee in the media is preventing Parkinson's disease, and even I've heard a lot that it's effective for chronic diseases such as diabetes. But most people who have a professional awareness of health think about coffee. Most people have a negative view. Anyway, coffee is my favorite food, so regardless of the good or bad health, I enjoy it. Food will eventually be a matter of your own personal preferences. But if you want to think about coffee from the perspective of diet, caffeine is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of coffee. So we think that the main ingredient of coffee is, I think it's caffeine, but in fact, only 1 to 2% of the coffee beans' components take no possession of other ingredients in coffee. Beans include chlorogenic acids, capol, polyphenols, phytoestroestrogens and diterpenes. Recently, a lot of studies have been conducted on the role that these people play in our bodies. Be in progress. Previous research on coffee 80.90s was mainly conducted by normal people regularly drinking coffee. The focus was on preventing diabetes when drinking. Studies have shown that coffee prevents diabetes from developing. First, a substance called chlorogenic acid in coffee can raise blood sugar in the liver. It suppresses the enzyme that. Second, a large amount of antioxidants in coffee reduces the oxidation burden so that insulin can be used. It has been speculated that it prevents the development of resistance. When these findings came out, the media reported that coffee was like a medicine. I've made a presentation that I can feel. However, since the end of 2000, studies on coffee and diabetes have been conducted on diabetes, which is not a normal person type 2. As it began to be centered around patients, completely different conclusions began to emerge. In conclusion, the caffeine in coffee raises blood sugar significantly after meals. And as a result, the pancreas. Excessive insulin production causes resistance to insulin. The root cause of diabetes. Insulin resistance, as is well known, is the biggest cause of obesity. If your body is healthy and your coffee is genetically compatible, you should drink about a cup a day. There is no reason to avoid coffee. But if you want to go on a diet or take care of your health, there are lots of caffeine and other things in coffee. We need to recognize that toxic substances are often ineffective. Let's face some facts. 1. Coffee contains a significant amount of a substance called diterpenes. These substances contain triglycerides in. It is well known for raising cholesterol levels. When the level of triglycerides in the blood increases, the signal of leptin hormone that makes you feel full is completely blocked. There is an unaffordable demand for sweets and fatty foods. 2. Caffeine in coffee is a stimulant. Awakening is a stress response. When a stress reaction occurs, the stress hormone cortisol comes out. As sugar levels rise momentarily, insulin production is also maximized. High production of insulin is well known to cause inflammation, which is why coffee is consumed. If you drink too much, your body will hurt and suffer. Of course, if this is repeated, you will develop resistance to insulin. And the fat will build up in the body and the fat will never be lost. 3. Coffee is a strong acidic food, which causes the stomach wall to be torn down and fundamentally lowers the production of stomach acid, resulting in our body's digestion and absorption will decrease. Then important nutrients, such as vitamin B synthesis, are not absorbed well but become deficient. This phenomenon is the root cause of all kinds of chronic diseases, including obesity. In addition, caffeine is a strong diuretic that causes essential minerals such as magnesium and calcium to escape out of the body considerably. Make it worse. 4. After drinking coffee, urine test reveals a huge amount of 5-HEA, a component of the happiness hormone serotonin. What does this mean? Simply put, it means your brain is short of serotonin. What happens when you're low on serotonin? And you think of something sweet and don't stop thinking about it and keep eating starchy foods or sugar? 5. When you drink coffee, you need to detoxify the tens of thousands of chemicals in the coffee from your liver. And if you have any other medicine, toxic substances such as alcohol and cigarettes can put a significant burden on the liver and cause all kinds of problems. There's a really important fact here that if you take thyroid drugs or depressive drugs, you can get coffee. Because chemicals directly prevent the absorption of drugs. The effectiveness of drugs is quite significant. It's going to fall off. If you drink coffee while taking thyroid medicine, the absorption of thyroid medicine will be hindered. Energy metabolism drops, which results in the catastrophe of obesity. The bottom line is by no means not to drink coffee. It's just that you have to be as careful as possible. Clearly aware that it doesn't help much with dieting. If anyone wants to stay away from coffee for their diet, here's how to do it, so please try. 1. Drink plenty of pure water. 2. Drink magnesium if possible after dinner 2 hours. 3. Take the vitamin B complex after breakfast. 4. Take 1000 milligrams of vitamin C 2 to 3 times after each meal. 5. If possible, go to the sauna every 2 to 3 days and sweat to detoxify it. 6. If you think of coffee, put some xylitol or stevia in dandelion tea and drink it. 7. I drink green tea when I think of coffee. 8. For those with low blood pressure, drink 1 or 2 cups of licorice tea if they do not feel energized in the morning. Drink for 5 days and stop for 2 days. 4. I hope that by gaining knowledge of coffee, there will be progress in diet success.